Joined now from Paris by Conway-Mouret of the French Socialist Party. And Aline, thank you so much for joining us this evening. No doubt lots of frantic activity taking place in France this evening, lots of phone calls going on, lots of negotiations. How likely is it, do you think, that this vote of no confidence is going to be passed tomorrow?
Well, you see, the mathematics are in favor of the vote passing, actually. But I know there are a lot of negotiations, and as you just showed, the Prime Minister went on television tonight to try to convince the TDs, but also the French people, maybe to put pressure on their representatives to motivate them for not to vote the no confidence motion that would be presented tomorrow afternoon.
And if that is not successful and the vote of no confidence is passed tomorrow, what are the immediate implications of that?
Well, we've had a lot of constitutional lawyers being very busy today because it's quite an unknown situation, really, that we're in. And, everybody is just trying to do their best to try to build various scenarios so that we would actually continue to be able to work as a parliament. Well, in the Senate, there were discussions all day today, and my colleagues are still in the House now debating the budget. We're just waiting, we're progressing with the text. I mean, it's the most important time in the parliament, the most important political time of the year. That's when we engage a discussion with the government as to what money we will have for next year. And therefore, the implications are actually quite grave if that budget is not actually voted now. We need a government very, very quickly so that in the next few weeks we will be able to vote a budget. As you know, on the 1st of January, a lot of grants and increases and various allowances are actually given to people. And if that doesn't happen, I'm afraid there may be quite a lot of social unrest.
Yes, and it's interesting, in that interview, Michel Barnier this evening, he made reference to a lot of tension in France, a lot of anger among the public. Is there a fear that if this vote is passed and all the turbulence that might cause, that could lead to a lot of social unrest in France?
Yes, but you see, we had the yellow vest not a long time ago, and that anger hasn't actually receded. It has just been put to rest. As you know, the president has had quite a generous budget, really, this year. He gave out a lot of money, and with the result, and now the national debt is just incredibly high, and we have a deficit also, which needs to be reduced drastically, and that's why the budget which was presented by Monsieur Barnier was quite drastic, really, looking for a lot of savings in all the ministries. And of course, that's not very popular, but people have kind of understood that we have to make a huge effort. So after the payout, if you like, now some kind of austerity was to be imposed. But of course, with not being able to make those savings, this may have implications for the interest rates, for the grade that France has, within the financial markets and so on. So it's quite, we're quite disturbed because we see that the implications are numerous. We don't quite know what will happen tomorrow. There may still be a hope, and I think the Prime Minister expressed it this evening, that the vote was not going to be successful. But I doubt it, as really the political groups are quite upset as to the way the negotiations actually went on, and maybe we have a lot to learn from the Irish.
Well,
we don't have a tradition of coalition in France at all, and political parties have always been in power with a majority and never kind of have this tradition to negotiate. So I don't know.
It brings its own complications, Aline, for sure, but I take the point. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. All eyes will be on Paris tomorrow. That's Conway-Mouret from the French Socialist Party. Thank you very much. Miriam.
Thank you.